Hello guys, this is Pearl again, and today I am super duperliciously excited to take you through today's tutorial on 8 most important things you need to know before starting your new website. So let's get more into it to know more. The first thing you need to know before starting your website is 1. Have a goal. It is very important to have a goal before starting your website. Why do you need to have a goal? Well, you need to have a goal because a website without a clear goal is more likely to fail at the end of the day. Why? Because a goal is needed to help you or guide you through your web creation process. Now, anyone who decides to create a website or anyone who decides to build a website at all should have a clear goal or a clear plan, because if you do not have a clear goal or a clear plan, then what is the purpose of creating that website in the first place? You need to make your purpose clear and you need to make your goal clear, because once you do, it will help you clarify yourself and it's also going to help you accomplish measurable results at the end of the day. So what are you achieving at the end of the day with whatever website you are creating? That is the purpose of a goal. So if your website is about services or any services at all you are offering, your website or the goal of that website is to clearly communicate to people the purpose of why you created the website in the first place, how you can be of assistance to them, and what new thing or what value you can give to them. If it's about a product, why should these people choose your product over that of your competitors? Okay, having a goal will help you clarify all these things, and at the end of the day you are going to see results. So the goal is the first and most important thing. Then you can think of other things of how to bring your website to life. Now let's look at the second thing you can consider when creating or starting your new website. The second most important thing you need to know before creating a new website is to consider who your target audience are. Who is the website meant for? That is one of the most important, the second most important thing, because if you do not have a specific audience of your website, then your website again is more likely to fail, because your website cannot be for everyone. It should be for a specific target, so you know how to plan your website, you know how to put things together so they value it more. So who are your target audience? For instance, if your website is meant for kids or children below the age of 13 years, you know that they want more images and more illustrations and less text. They will want to see colorful things, but you have to be very careful with color combination. Okay, you have to determine your target audience, what they will value, what they will appreciate, how they want their information to be put together, what is going to make them happy and what is going to turn them off. Once you know all these details about your specific target audience, then it's easy for you to plan and put your website together. Now let's move on to the third thing you need to consider when putting a new website together. Number 3 is to identify the unique selling proposition of your website. What value is your website bringing and how is it different from that of your competitors? What is new about this value? What is so rare about this value you are bringing to the table? A unique selling proposition should answer the question of why your website viewers or your site viewers or visitors should choose your product or services over that of your competitors. And it's very important. You need to make your unique selling proposition of your website bold, visible, and clear, because once it's not visible, once it's not clear, and once it's not straight to the point, precise, concise, your website viewers are going to be lost and they're not going to see the value you would want to offer to them. So always make sure that you have a specific unique selling proposition. Now your unique selling proposition is not a tagline. Okay, your unique selling proposition should answer the question of what value are you bringing, or how is your product or service very different from that of your competitors, and how are your web viewers going to get it and also benefit from that value. That is your unique selling proposition. The fourth thing to consider is to choose and register a domain name. What is a domain name? A domain name gives your website a specific identity or an address. So let's say you type in, or the domain name for your website is www.webcreations.com, or maybe www.foodie.com, maybe art.com. Okay, your domain name should be linked to the purpose of your website. You don't want to choose a domain name that has nothing or no relation to your website. It is very important to relate the domain name to the purpose of your website. So there should be some form of similarity between the purpose of your website and the domain name. Now, other things to consider when choosing a domain name is that do not or avoid using hyphens in domain name, because it makes it difficult for you to type in that URL to have access to your website. And also avoid using domain names that are too long. Now, the third thing to consider, or another thing to consider, is never ever use doubled letters for domain name, because it can make pronunciation very difficult. And also keep your domain name simple and short. Now, make sure that your domain name is also very easy to pronounce and also very easy to spell. These are some of the things you should consider when choosing a domain name for your website, and your website will be easily accessible and achieve its purpose. Now, let's move on to the fifth thing to consider when setting or when creating a new website for your business or your blog or whatever you're creating that website for. The fifth thing you need to consider when putting or when building a new website is to do a competitor research. Why do you need to do a competitor research? Well, you need to do a competitor research because it gives you, or it's a great source of inspiration, and it also gives you a potential idea of the pitfalls in the business and how to turn around those pitfalls and make it your stronghold, or how to even avoid them in the first place. Now, when doing a competitor research, you need to find out what exactly your competitors are doing to drive traffic to their website. Now, if you find out what they are doing to drive traffic, how can you do a little bit more than what they are doing to redirect the traffic from your competitor's website to your website? Now, also find out that what contributes to the successes of your competitors. How can you do more than they are doing to add more value to your website? Once you are adding more value, automatically the traffic is going to shift from their website to your website. Now, the next thing you also need to consider is find out exactly what your competitors are doing wrong that is more likely to cause their website to come to an end, or that is more likely to drive away traffic from their website. Avoid doing those things, or see how best you can turn around the pitfalls or the shortcomings of your competitors into your strongholds. When you take all these things into consideration, it's going to make your website succeed, and it's going to make you achieve measurable results. Now, let's look at the sixth thing you need to consider when building a new website. The sixth thing to do is to create and develop a valuable content. Now, I use the word valuable because if your content is not valuable to your site viewers or your site visitors, they will not see it as important to take an action in your website in the first place. You also need to spend more time doing lots and lots of research just to come up with a content that will be more appreciated by your site visitors and your site viewers. You also need to know what kind of content combination to include, depending on who you are creating the content for, or depending on who your target audience is. So, for instance, if your target audience are kids or children, then you will know that you should include more of images and videos, because children will like more of illustrations and less of text. If you decide to include text, make sure that the text is in simple languages and very easy to understand. This will help you come up with relevant content and content that will be more valued by your site visitors. If you are not sure of what to do, or if you are not good at putting together a content, there is no harm to seek a professional advice or to seek professional help from a professional content writer who will help you come up with the right language and the appropriate words that is going to push, or that is going to help your website visitors take an action in your website. And this is the most important reason why you need to spend a lot of time to come up with the appropriate content just for your website visitors to see it as valuable enough to take an action and also to stick to your website. After you have created your content, the next thing to do is to get a good website builder. Now, the good website builder is going to help you build your website, or is going to bring your website to life. That is why it is very important to get a best website builder that will help you build your website in a very professional way, or exactly how you want it to respond. Now, also take into consideration what your website viewers will want, or what your target audience will want, how your website look like, and consider whether that particular website builder will help you build your website in exactly that way. If you're not sure of what to do, you can also seek professional assistance from experienced web developers to give you examples of the best website builders you can use to build your website. Now, as you are building your website in that particular website builder, you also need to consider whether the website builder is going to make your website, after it's been built, easily accessible to your website viewers, because that is the most important thing. Now, once you find out all these and you do all your checks, you are good to go and build your website in that good website builder to make it more easily accessible to your website viewers or your online consumers. The 8th thing to consider when building a website for your new business is cohesiveness, or cohesive design throughout your website. Now, what is a cohesive design? A cohesive design means that whatever design or whatever style you want to design your website with should be consistent. It should be matching. They should communicate with each other. The design in your website should communicate with each other throughout, from the beginning to the end. So, for instance, if you use a specific font style or font color for headings, then it should run throughout your page. It should be seen as the same font style and font size for all headings throughout your website. If you also use a specific font size and font color or font, style for paragraphs, then it should be seen throughout the page so that there is consistency, so that there is communication between all the design elements inside your website. Now, your images should also blend well with whatever website you're creating. The video should blend neatly. Everything should just communicate. The color you decide to use for your call to action button should communicate with the main color of the website. Okay, that is what cohesive design means. Every design you use in your website should communicate. There should be matching. That is matching designs. There shouldn't be too much and too loud. Your layout should be on point, and everything you do in your website should just communicate or blend neatly with each other. That is what a cohesive design, or getting a cohesive design, means. And these are the 8 main things, or 8 points or tips you can consider when building a new website for your business. At this point, we are going to summarize everything we have learned for today on what to consider when building a new website for your business. The first one is to have a goal. The second one is to have a specific target audience. The third one is to have a unique selling proposition or a unique selling point. Now, the fourth one is to have a good domain name. The fifth one is to do lots and lots of competitor research. The sixth thing to consider is to write or create a valuable content. The seventh thing to consider is to get a good website builder. And the 8th thing to do is to make sure that your design is cohesive. Now, this is a summary of whatever we have gone through for today. Now, thank you for sticking with me from the beginning to the end. I am super grateful. And at this point, if you have not subscribed to our channel and you want to know more about web design and website building, all you have to do is to click on the subscribe button right below, and I will always come your way with educative and relevant content you can take something from. Thank you for subscribing to our channel, and I will see you in the next tutorial.